moment made it clear you weren't the favorite child? I realized it when my parents skipped my high school graduation to attend my brother's soccer tryouts for a team he didn't even make. I was 18, valedictorian, standing on stage with trembling hands clutching my speech. The crowd was full of proud parents waving cameras and flowers. Mine, they were 3 towns over cheering for Jake, my 15-year-old brother, at his potential career opportunity. Mom texted me 10 minutes before the ceremony. "So sorry, honey. This could be huge for Jake. We'll celebrate later." Later never came. When I got home that night, still in my cap and gown, the house was dark. A half-eaten pizza box on the counter. A note on the fridge. "So proud of you. Don't be mad. Jake gave it his all." I sat on the kitchen floor and cried in silence. That was the first time it really clicked. Jake didn't have to succeed to matter. He just had to try. I had to earn my worth, and even then, it wasn't guaranteed. It wasn't always like that. When we were little, we were close. But as Jake grew, so did his potential. Soccer, robotics, debate, drama. My parents poured time, money, and attention into every phase. When I asked for piano lessons, they said, maybe next year. Next year never came. By freshman year, Jake had private coaches, tutors, and a therapist to help him manage performance stress. I had straight A's, scholarships, and anxiety attacks I learned to hide. Once, I fainted during finals from exhaustion. Mom drove Jake to practice while Dad picked me up from school. He barely looked up from his phone. "You need to manage your time better," he said. But when Jake sprained his ankle during practice, both of them rushed out of work to bring him ice packs, smoothies, and a weighted blanket. The real breaking point came senior year. I got accepted to Columbia on a full scholarship, something no one in my family had ever done. I told them at dinner, expecting maybe a hug. Mom smiled weakly. "That's amazing, honey. But how far is that again?" "New York." She frowned. "That's so far from home. How will Jake manage without you around to help him focus?" I laughed, thinking she was joking. She wasn't. Dad nodded. "You know how dependent he gets during soccer season. Maybe you could do community college for the first year. Stay nearby and transfer later." I got into Columbia, I said. "You can't just defer that." Jake sighed dramatically. "You're making this about you again." They all looked at me like I was the selfish one. I went anyway. Worked 2 part-time jobs, paid for everything not covered by scholarship. Jake's big break never came. He quit soccer junior year of high school after tearing a ligament. Mom called weekly, but not to ask about me. "Your brother's feeling lost," she'd say. "He's been through so much. You should check in." So I did. Every time Jake complained about how hard adulthood was, how unfair it felt that he had things figured out, I didn't. I was barely scraping by. But I had learned how to keep moving without applause. Last month, Jake called me out of the blue. "Mom says you're doing great," he said, voice dripping with guilt. "Can you help me cover rent this month? Just until I find something steady." "You're 24, I said. "You've had a steady stream of help your whole life." "That's not fair," he snapped. "You're the successful one. You can afford it." No, I thought. I just learned how to live without anyone catching me when I fell. 2 days later, Mom called too. "Sweetheart, your brother's struggling. We think it would be good if you moved back home for a bit. Help him get on his feet. You've always been the responsible one." "What about my career?" I asked. "My apartment, my life?" There was a pause. "Jake needs you more right now." That was the moment I knew it wasn't about love. It was about need. Jake would always be the favorite because he required saving. I'd never be, because I'd already learned to save myself. I told Mom I wasn't coming home. Then I blocked her number for the first time in my life. Some people realize they're not the favorite through small slights. I realized it when my family valued my brother's potential more than my reality, and I stopped mistaking their neglect for strength.